Hey, if you want to learn about wholesale and real estate, well, guess what? You've come to the right place. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jeremy Beelan. I have successfully closed over 400 off-market deals, and I've grown multiple seven-figure markets since 2017. I specialize in teaching high-level acquisition skills that empower individuals just like yourself to achieve remarkable success in acquiring off-market properties directly from sellers. Do you need money to wholesale real estate? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Do you need money to wholesale real estate? Well, yes and no. Both will give you different results, but the reality is you don't need money to wholesale real estate. There's a lot of ways to make money in real estate without having to have any money. Honestly, I didn't have any money when I started my business. I started my business back in 2017. I took a coaching course in 2016. But I tell you, I did start my business with money. What did I do to achieve this? Well, I had a townhouse that I was owning for a couple of years. In 2016, I was a divorced dad with two children. I actually sold my townhouse and I made $17,000 of profit on that house that I owned for those 2 years. And out of that $17,000, I took $6,000. I paid off some credit card debt. I took $5,000, invested into a coaching program, which taught me how to wholesale my first deal, which I did in 90 days. And I made $5,000 on that first deal in 90 days. And I took the remaining $6,000, and that was my initial marketing spend. Plus, I used some money to create my LLC and to have my attorney draft up purchase sales agreements and assignment contracts to make sure that I was legal with the documentation I needed in the state. So I actually started my business with $11,000. I took that $11,000 in January 2017. I sent out my first marketing campaign, which we did white handwritten postcards, and we sent it to absentee owners. And in about 60 days, I ended up getting my first deal under contract, closed that deal about 30 days later to a cash buyer, and I made $5,000. And then the next deal came in about another 30 days after that. It was like $2,400. And really that first year, all I achieved, which looking back was pretty remarkable, was 10 deals, and we grossed about $72,000. I could have done a lot better if I had better coaching at the time, but I took massive imperfect action, filled my way forward, and I did 10 deals for $72,000 off the initial $11,000 that I spent. I'm no math genius, but that's like over a 10-to-1 return. And what was even better about that was that it allowed me to build this massive foundation for the years to come. And as I told you in the intro, I since then have done well over 400 off-market acquisitions deals, right? And I've grown multiple seven-figure markets. Matter of fact, as of today's recording, I'm approaching $9 million in gross profits. Wholesaling is amazing. So having money will expedite you to success faster, just like a great coach will. But you can actually still make money in this wholesale journey without having money. And I'm going to teach you how. Wholesaling is essentially a marketing business. That's it. We deal with people. The houses that we get under contract are really just a commodity, meaning, they have value, but they're really just something that we trade in exchange for value, right? We're a marketing business first, and we're a people business second. So, essentially what we're doing is we were marketing to identify distressed people, distressed houses, distressed situations, right? And coming in and working with those people as a problem solver. They have a problem. We're going to come in and provide a solution in exchange for equity in their home. So what is that problem like, right? Are they facing foreclosure? Are they facing a tax auction? Have they inherited a house that they don't want? Do they have bad tenants that aren't paying rent anymore? They don't want to deal with it. They're a tired landlord, right? There's all these examples that create distress. Maybe they're lost their job and they can't afford their house. Maybe the house needs a lot of work and they're getting old and they don't want to put the work into it anymore and they want to move. Maybe they have to relocate and they have to be out of the house in 30 days and they don't have time to work with a realtor and do a listing. Maybe they have a situation where they're a hoarder and they don't want people coming through their house, but they want to move because they have to move and they don't want to deal with any of that, right? So there's all these different scenarios where you can come in and be a great asset and bring great value to these people. but you're going to be doing it to get the house locked up at a contract, which is pennies on the dollar, and it happens all the time. So being a marketing company, you have to find these people. And there's a lot of different marketing resources. And I talk about this in some other YouTube episodes where you can go through various different marketing channels to identify who these people are. And really there's two different ways, right? There's outbound and inbound. Outbound means you are going to proactively send something, whether it's a text message, mailing, phone call, you're going to knock on somebody's door, right? You're outbounding, going to them with some kind of marketing channel to say, hey, hello, I'm interested in buying your house if you're interested in selling, right? That's like an outbound marketing channel. And then there's inbound marketing channels. Now, inbound marketing channels usually cost a lot more than outbound. Outbounds are more cost-effective marketing channel. Inbound marketing channels would be like pay-per-click, SEO, social media marketing, radio ads, TV ads, right? So you do those, you spend money on them, and then people call into you as they come across your ad when they're motivated to sell. So there's outbound marketing channels, inbound marketing channels. When you're new to this industry, it's best to focus on outbound marketing channels because you can spend less money on that and it requires more time and effort. Whereas on inbound marketing channels, it's less time and effort, but you have to spend a lot more money. And until you get really good at handling leads and working on the sales skills, you don't want to be working with inbound marketing leads because you're spending a premium on them and you're probably going to waste a lot of them because you don't know what you're doing yet because you just haven't had the skills, the experience, the education, the success yet, right? So it's always great when you're starting out to work on outbound marketing channels. Now, with all marketing, it comes down to two things: time and money. So the more money you spend on something, the less time that's going to be involved. The more time you spend on something, the less money is going to be involved. So depending on where you are and starting your wholesale journey, if you have a little bit of money, a little bit of time, you can find that balance. If you have tons of money and no time, you can just work on those kind of marketing channels. If you have no money and plenty of time, you work on those marketing channels. So what are some ways that you can do some outbound marketing when you don't have money or maybe very little money? Well, that's a question I get asked very, very often. Well, there's a lot of different things. Really, all you have to do is go and find distressed properties and distressed situations. One of the cheapest, if not the freest way of achieving this is actually just driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is basically driving your neighborhoods, your community, and just looking for houses that are distressed. Again, I talk about this in other YouTube videos. And you're looking for those houses that need work, right? They have a lot of junk in the yard. Maybe the siding's in rough shape, the roofing's in rough shape. You can tell this house needs a lot of love, right? Those are great houses to identify as somebody who may be motivated to sell. So what you can do, again, if you don't have money on this, is you can take down the address and you can go to your the tax collector or the tax card of the town online and identify who the property owner is from the address. You can find out with a mailing address. Now you can handwrite a letter, low cost, but you can handwrite a letter just saying, hey, I'm Jeremy, the local home buyer. Are you interested in a free cash offer on your home, right? Something really simple. There's a bunch of different templates you can use on this. So you can do that. You could then maybe skip trace it for 25 cents, sometimes free, through True People Finder online and get a phone number and you can call them. Hey, Mr. Seller, I know this call's out of the blue, but I was wondering if you were looking to have a cash offer in your house. I'm Jeremy, I'm a local home buyer, and I'm looking to buy a property in your area, right? Or a variation of that. Again, there's different scripts that you can use. You can send a text message with the same thing, right? Those are three relatively low cost of ways of reaching out, outbound marketing to that seller. Now, what if you have no money for that? Well, you can actually just go knock on the door, right? If you're brave enough to do that, and door knocking has been around for centuries, right? Door-to-door sales, people used to sell vacuum cleaners and, they used to sell encyclopedias way back in the day. So just go knock on the door. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm sorry to, intrude on your day and be, stopping by unexpectedly, but my name's Jeremy. I'm a local home buyer. I'm looking to buy a house in this neighborhood. I wanted to stop by, see if you knew if anybody in the area may be interested in getting a fair cash offer on their home. Now, you don't want to say that you're there to talk to them specifically about their home. They're going to get the gist of that just because you knocked on the door. But you can take the pressure off of them rather than being like, hey, are you going to sell me your house? Take the pressure off them and say, hey, do you know of anybody in the area that may be interested in selling their home? If they're interested, they'll be like, yeah, we might be interested. If not, maybe they tell you about somebody they know in the neighborhood that is under a distressed situation that you may not be aware of, right? So that is a great low cost, basically free way of outbound marketing to wholesaling. Now, this is going to take a lot of time, and you're going to have to do a lot of those before you get your first deal. So with wholesaling, again, being a marketing business, it requires you contacting lots and lots and lots of people to get your first deal. You may have to knock on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doors before you get your first deal. So it could take you months, but you could also send out mailings every single week and it could still take you months. You could get on the phone and cold call 3 to 4 hours a day, talking to hundreds of people through a phone calls, and still take you months. You can send out hundreds of text messages a day and it's still going to take you months. That's just the reality of this business. So it's not going, necessarily take you a lot of money, but it will take you a lot of time. Now, again, you can spend a lot of money on marketing and create ads like PPC, radio, TV, right? Social media marketing. And those will have people calling you, and you may be able to get deals much sooner, but you're going to pay a premium for that. And when you're getting started in this industry, most of us don't have any money, just like I didn't. What I did is I sent out 2,000 postcards a week, and it took almost 8 weeks before I got my first deal under contract. And it took me 90 days to get that first deal, which was $5,000. I wasn't in the black probably for about 5-6 months. But after that, I started making money, getting ahead. But it takes a little bit of time. I was working a full-time job then, so it was hard enough for me to just handle the calls that were coming in from the postcards, go on appointments and talk to sellers and things like that, and work on building my buyers list. I didn't have time to go out and knock on 50 doors a day, 100 doors a week, 10 doors a day, whatever the case is, or get on the phone 3 or 4 hours a day and just hammer out phone calls. Text messaging actually wasn't really quite a thing then, didn't really come along until like 2019. So that is just something you can do. So those are just some different ways that you can wholesale. Again, it's relatively cheap to come into this business. I would recommend getting an LLC just to be professional and keep yourself protected. Make sure you have a purchase and sales agreement drafted by an attorney. Same with an assignment contract to protect the seller and more importantly to protect you. There are a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to real estate. You want to make sure that you're following them and not breaking any rules because it can be detrimental to you financially. You get in a lot of trouble. So, make sure that you understand what you're doing. So without any money, you can definitely make it in this business. And it really shouldn't be something that stops you. Now, what if you have money? Okay. What if you say, Jeremy, I have money. I've saved $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Dude, I am ready to sell my house just like you did. Well, fantastic. If you have money, I would recommend hiring a coach. It's worked well for me. I had my first coach get my first deal. Now, you don't have to hire a coach, but it's going to expedite your timeline to success much faster than you just watching these YouTube videos and getting all this content and doing it on your own. A coach will teach you all the things to do and not to do and a lot of things that you don't know much faster. So if I didn't have a coach doing what I did back in the day, it may have taken me 6, 7, 8 months to get my first deal. Coach allowed me to get my first deal in 3 months. By the time I was down to 6, 7, 8 months, I already had many deals under my belt, right? So invest into a coaching program. It could be our coaching program or somebody else's coaching program, but I highly recommend investing in coaching. I still continue to invest in coaching to this day myself personally. The reason why we've been able to achieve well over 400 off-market acquisitions deals and grow these multi-million markets is because I've invested a lot of money into coaching because I want to continue to get better and better at what we do. And today, actually, as of this recording, I still have 3 coaches that I pay for to get the best out of me on everything that I do. So if you have money, get a coach first and foremost. Then get yourself a LLC, get yourself those contracts I said from a real estate attorney, and then, let's get some marketing sent out. Don't go knocking on doors. Let's send out some postcards. Maybe get some social media ads going, right? Different things depending on your ability. And then just get those numbers going and get you talking to people, because the money's made in this business from talking to people and going on appointments. Now, if you're virtual, you need to talk to a lot more people, but every time you get somebody on the phone, that's kind of an appointment as well. But if you're belly to belly, you want to be going on appointments. So, if you have money, man, you can expedite growth really, really fast. Hiring yourself a coach and have some money for marketing, you could do what I did and have like $11,000, right? And achieve a 10-to-1 return in that first year. But the return beyond that first year is amazing. You can make so much more than that after the first year. So if you don't have any money, don't let it prevent you today from starting wholesaling. Wholesaling is amazing. It can change your life. I've just told you some techniques today of ways that you can do it with no money. There's distressed houses all around your neighborhood right now that need to sell, and I'm looking for a wholesaler to help them in this situation. And if you have money, hire a coach, and let's get you started today on building a life of freedom and get you out of the 9-to-5 job that you hate going to work every day for. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. If you found this information valuable, please make sure to subscribe for more insightful content like this. And if you're looking to take your off-market property acquisitions to the next level, I invite you to check out the link in the description. It's a valuable resource where I share how my coaching program can help you master these skills and achieve exceptional results in your real estate ventures.